slug of chains to sharpen. So take them on my USG grinder here. I want to show you guys this. I know some of you have seen my other videos before, but just wanted to do a little quick refresher. It is chainsaw season. Guys are getting ready for fall and winter time. And I'm gonna start seeing a ton of chains here in the shop. So first thing I got on Stihl chains, you're gonna see a yellow or green strap. See that a little bit better. Husqvarnas are gonna have a gold one usually. So that's where I start. So what I'm gonna do, this particular chain is gonna be a 325. 325 and 3/8 chain are gonna have the same exact grinding stone that you use on them. And the first thing I'm gonna do is get this set up here. I've already got my grinding stone on there. So I'm going to go to the first chain, cutting tooth, bring this down, see where I'm at. This little knob over here on the side is going to bring that chain back. So I'm just going to go down to my grinding stone is barely touching the front of the cutting tooth. When it's touching that, I know I'm good to go. If there's too much crossover between the grinding stone and the cutting tooth, I'm taking too much meat off, and I do not want to do that. I want it where I can just lightly pass through the front of the cutting tooth, clean that up, not blue out the metal on there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dress that stone with this, with my dressing tool before I start grinding in there. I'm going to go through, go around. Once I get back to this yellow strap, I'm going to know I need to switch my angles out and hit the other side. I'll go through on that. I do all my rakers at the end. I just make a pile of the chains, go through one after another on my other grinder right next to it, which has my raker set up. So let's jump right into this. I'll show you guys how I do it. Dressing your stone cleans it up just like anything else. So that way it makes a nice clean finish on your teeth. So I just do one quick pass. That quick pass, it just makes a nice point there. Doesn't take off much meat at all, which is what I want. And then I'll just work my way all the way around. I don't have the foot pedal with this. I think it gets in the way. This is just a lot more efficient for me. I've done enough of these. I get pretty fast at it. Notice how I'm just doing one nice clean pass with my grinding wheel. I'm not sitting there pounding on the chain. Some guys will go up and down and just grind on it. You don't need to do that. This is going around, I don't know how many RPMs, but it's more than enough to clean that edge up. There's no point in overdoing it. I can easily, if I'm doing the chain sharpening, get a dozen sharpenings out of a chain easily, sometimes more. Just depends on how the customer takes care of their chain. So I've been all the way around back to the yellow strap. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but if you look right there, it is nice and silver and clean, and there's no bluing on there. So that's what you want to see. You don't want to heat this metal up. It compromises it. So now I'm going to change my angle. I was at positive, so now I'm going to go back down to negative. This is going to be negative 30. And then once I get that set, my B angle, instead of positive 15, is going to take it back to negative 15. So I got that there. And I am all set. It should be the same distance away from this, so I shouldn't have to readjust that at all. Nice and clean. Now, if you get somebody that sharpen their own chains, sometimes you get them in one side, the cutting tooth are a certain length, the other side are longer or shorter. You just have to adjust that down to whatever your shortest side is, because you want to make sure everything is evenly on both sides. If you don't, you're going to start cutting crooked lines. So 2 ways to cut a crooked line: have a bent bar or have a chain that's not sharpened right. I guess if you broke off a bunch of teeth on one side of the chain, it would do the same thing, but more often than not, I just see the chains come in. Whoever was running them and sharpening them didn't know how to sharpen them right. So they get some really wonky angles on there. Most of your chains are going to be 30 degrees. So hexa chains that Stihl makes, those are 25 degrees. Your carbide tooth are 25 degrees. If you guys are milling and you have ripping chain, those are going to be 10 degrees. So it really depends on which chain you have. But for most of the stuff, the 3/8, the 325, 325 Pico, 1/4 inch Pico, 404, all that stuff is going to be 30 degrees. So I just go through one chain after the next, make a nice little pile there so that way I can clean up all the rakers. All these chains are 325, and then I've got another batch of them that are going to be 3/8 Pico. 3/8 Pico chains are going to take a different grinding stone. So I'm going to go through everything that I have. It takes this size stone first. The Raker stone is going to be the same regardless of whatever chain you're doing. But you do have to dress that stone up as well. It will wear differently depending on the Raker style and the size that's on your chain. Different brands have different styles. And after time, it'll wear a groove in there, so you need to level out the surface so that way it cleans your rakers up nice and evenly. Now I'm going back over to positive 30, positive 15 to hit the other side. Back around to my yellow strap again. This is just the easiest way to tell where you start and where you need to stop. So if you don't have this, you can take some fingernail polish, just paint one of the rakers where you're starting out at. Depending on which side or which brand of saw you guys are using, some of you guys probably do have fingernail polish sitting around, so just use whatever fancy color you guys are painting your nails. Just kidding. See how fast this goes? Roughly a couple minutes on each chain. Nice and clean, nice points. And I don't need one of those fancy automated machines that costs thousands and thousands of dollars because I can knock the chains out fairly fast right here. If you got the right machine, the USG, I love this machine. It's nice and smooth, very user-friendly. I've used Oregon, I've used cheaper models. This is my favorite by far. So good to go on those. Rotate it back to negative 30 degrees, negative 15. And that chain's done too, all the way around. So this is the last 3/8 chain that I got. See if I can find the strap on there. Sometimes they're hard to see depending on how much dirt and stuff you got on there. And then sometimes for whatever reason they put them on the wrong side. It's like they mount the straps backwards. So I'll take you guys in a little closer right here. Get you set up. One of these grinding wheels can last forever. I swear I can do 100 chains or more on a grinding wheel. As long as you aren't trashing them, doing one nice clean drop, they will last a really long time. If you do some funky grinding and pounding them down on the straps, they're not going to last as long. One word of caution is if you ever drop one of those stones on the ground, throw it away, even if it's not cracked, because it might be cracked, you just can't see it. And once you get it spinning on the machine, it can actually explode. So we've had that happen here before. I'm just telling you guys that off of experience. I know they're expensive, but it's not worth getting hurt over. You guys can buy these machines from Stihl. I want to say the new price on these is probably around $800 after you pay tax on it. They are pretty pricey. But if you're doing a ton of chains, it's well worth it. They're nice machines. All right, and that is all the way around again on this. So now I've got all of my chains that are the 325 done. I still have 3/8 Pico stuff, but I'm going to jump right over here and show you guys how I do my rakers. So this is a little bit different, different angle on here, but once you get them set up, you don't need to change them between. I've got it set up right now for them. I'll dress this up because it gets a little notch in there from the rakers, especially on your yellow chains because they sit up so high like that. Until they get a flat top on them, that little point digs right into the middle of that grinding stone. So after you do a few chains, it notches it out. So you got to dress it up and clean it up. So that's what I'm going to do here. Pretty much every chain I do, I need to redress it. This is just a quick drop on there. You're not going to sit there and pound it and take that raker way down. So pretty much every raker is going to be needed taken down on the chains after I sharpen them to maintain that chip depth. So if you're not familiar with what the raker does, the top of the raker to the point on the chain, that's going to determine how big of a chip you're throwing. So if you take your cutting tooth down and you don't take your raker down, your chip is going to get smaller and smaller till that raker's sitting up so high your chain's not going to cut. And in the opposite fashion, if you sit here and you were to grind on the raker and take it down too much, you're going to have a much meatier chip. And what's going to happen is when you're using your chainsaw, it's going to pull into the wood really hard. It's going to bite, which makes it dangerous and hard to run. So there just needs to be that little happy balance right there of where that depth is. So these are all fairly new chains. The rakers don't look like they've been touched before. So obviously if I'm taking the chain down, I need to adjust the raker down. If you guys are doing it manually, you can do it with flat file. Stihl and other places make a 201 system. The 201 system is nice because it has a flat file for taking your rakers down at the same time you're taking your cutting teeth down. So if you're new to chain sharpening, I would recommend that tool. It's a great way to get started. You guys can also single file it, but then you got to go over it twice with flat file for the rakers after your cutting teeth are where you want them. And you got to remember, if you're hand sharpening, whatever you do to one tooth, you need to do the other. So if you take it down 5 passes, you need to do 5 passes on your other teeth so everything is nice and even. You can't just selectively go through and decide I want to sharpen one tooth 10 times and sharpen the other one twice. That's going to get your chain way out of whack. You want everything even and consistent. That's what we're going for here. And when I'm not making a nice flat top on these rakers, I know that I need to dress my grinding wheel. And there's my final one on that. Again, a newer yellow chain. So that point's going to eat up my wheel there. I like doing full skip tooth chains. They're nice because you can get them done a lot quicker. Half as many teeth, half as many rakers. These 325 chains take a little bit of extra time just because the teeth are, the drive links are closer together anyways. So after you do these a while, you get pretty efficient and you know what to look for. When I'm going through these, I'm basically inspecting the entire chain. If there's any burring on the drive link teeth, I go ahead and clean those up for the customer so everything rotates smoothly through the bar. So that's a service I provide. When you put them on a automated machine, you're not getting that inspection. It's just going through, doing its thing. So there is value to having somebody that goes through and does this stuff by hand. I can get these as close to factory chain as you're going to get. Nothing runs like a new chain, but this is a close second. I don't mind chain sharpening. It's sort of relaxing. It's repetitive. sort of mindless. Sit here and tune on the radio, the talk radio station you like, listen to a podcast, listen to music, whatever floats your boat. So I do thousands of chains a year here in the shop. Thousands. Sometimes customers will bring me in multiple 5-gallon buckets. It takes a little bit of time to go through all that stuff. But if it's in the wintertime, those are good winter projects for me. Obviously, people aren't running their leaf blowers and trimmers and all their other power equipment. So I got more time to do stuff like that. All right, so that's the last one of those. So as you can see, it's not super hard once you get everything set up here. Everything's pretty straightforward. The angles are the most important part. I do have these cheat sheets on the wall there. I don't really need to reference them that often because I'm usually doing the same thing over and over again, and I already know what angles I need to have, but they're there in case you need them. They come with the set, so if you guys do buy this USG set, they have those with them, and then you get a kit with your dressing wheel, 3 different stones. You have your Raker stone, your 1/4 inch 3/8 pico disc, and then your 325 3/8 disc. So that's nice to have all that stuff. Let me see if we have any questions. No questions. If you guys do have any questions for me and you're not watching this live, drop them down below in the comment section. I'll try my best to answer those questions for you. But with chain sharpening, it's just like anything else. You do enough of it, you get good at it, you get efficient with it. So if you guys are sharpening on your own, just practice makes perfect. So you're going to figure out right away if when you're sharpening stuff, if it's actually going to cut right when you're out in the field. So just keep that in mind. Don't be too hard on yourself. It's a learned talent, just like anything else. I wasn't very good when I first started, but after doing enough of them, you just sort of perfect how you have to do everything and know what to look for. So that's all I got for this video. Appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you guys check out the Wrench and Ramble show Saturday nights, 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. Kirk and I do a talk show. We have videos on there that are funny, a lot of great content on there. So make sure you guys tune in again Saturday nights, 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. So if you're on the East Coast, 10 o'clock your time. If you're on the West Coast, what would that be? 7 o'clock your time, 6 o'clock if you're in the mountain areas, or not 6, 8 o'clock. So 9 o'clock Central Time. So we'll see you then. Thanks.